Just like the PlayStation 3, the Vita store was set to close, which caused a mad panic to scoop up physical titles, which caused a spike in prices. Now that the store isn't closing, should you buy now or wait? Welcome to Retronomics, the series that follows price trends in video games, and if you like this type of content, consider subscribing as I have more videos like this coming in the future. Subscribing is free, so you'll have more money to spend on Vita games. I get all of my pricing from pricecharting.com and eBay sold listings, and the price data that I have is accurate as of the recording of this video, which is May 4th, 2021. The exact dollar amount isn't really a factor anyway, as the whole point of Retronomics is to let you know if prices will go up, down, or stay the same. The PlayStation Vita was Sony's second attempt to enter the handheld market. The portable released in North America February of 2012 and boasted a sharp OLED touchscreen, dual analog sticks, and a touchpad on the back for a unique console quality experience on the go. And instead of optical discs like the PlayStation Portable, the Vita would use solid-state cartridges. But despite its ability to play Netflix, take that Nintendo Switch, sales weren't to Sony's liking, and they would quietly drop support for the low-selling handheld until finally admitting that they were discontinuing the system in 2019. While the PlayStation Vita didn't sell well compared to Nintendo's handhelds, it still has a strong, passionate following, which makes collecting games for the system quite challenging and expensive. Even before the announcement that the Vita store would be closing, prices of the more popular titles were getting close to $100 or more. Now that the Vita store isn't closing, let's take a look at some games to see if now's a good time to buy or not. I included complete listings on this one and tried not to include too many limited run titles, as those aren't technically retail releases and they were always meant to be rare. And the same thing with collector's editions. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, and this game is surprisingly expensive compared to the other platforms. I mean, you could buy all Epic Mickeys on those platforms and still have $80 left over. This version just didn't sell as well because it got lukewarm reviews, citing that it was a direct port and it didn't really utilize the controls of the Vita. PriceCharting.com says that the price is going down, but the sold listings on eBay tell another story, averaging about $120, and I suspect that the rarity of this game will keep it as one of the more expensive Vita games. Gravity Rush is a game that has a cult following, and the Vita version has been around $50 for a long time and then has skyrocketed since the announcement of the Vita store shutting down. The digital game is available for $14, and at over $100 for the complete version, it is a tall ask, and I think this game will drop in the next couple of months as sold eBay listings are selling for under $100, so you can be patient, or you can just get the PAL version for half the price since the Vita is region free. Ragnarok Odyssey Ace is similar to Monster Hunter but based on Norse mythology, and it's also made by Xseed, which tends to see a bump whenever you see that label on the cover. The game is also on its way up, and you could see it hit $75 before it peaks. I mean, one listing did go for $110 as an open bid, but again, you could just import this game from Japan and play it in English for half the price. I know collectors care about getting the US version, but if you just want to play this game, go and get it from Japan, as it's physically available there for much less. And it's also available digitally for $20 and physically on the PlayStation 3 in the US for a fraction of the price. Mary Skelter Nightmares is a spooky waifu RPG on the Vita, so it's going to be expensive and will probably hold its value for quite some time. Mary Skelter 2 for the Nintendo Switch includes this version, but unfortunately was published by Limited Run, so it's got a high price tag, but that does seem to be holding steady. The Vita version is taking off, but not as fast as the other ones on this list, and I think that this game will drop a bit in the next couple of months, but you can give it a go for $10 on the PlayStation Store, or you can spend $13 on the Nintendo eShop for the sequel, which also includes Mary Skelter Nightmares as well. Resident Evil Revelations 2. Now this game is also available on the PlayStation 3, PS4, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One, so the Vita version price is going to keep in check, and I would probably buy this now rather than later, as it is steadily increasing in value for the Vita. If you're collecting Vita games, this is one you'll feel confident snagging now rather than later. Persona 4 Dancing All Night is a rhythm dance game, but it bears the Persona and Atlas name, so it'll be sought after, especially among Vita collectors, but I think it'll level off so you can pick this game up a bit later, since the digital marketplace isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Keep an eye on it though if you're really looking to get it. Salt and Sanctuary is a limited run physical title, limited to only 1,800 copies, so if you're looking for the price to come down on this, you're going to be waiting a while, especially since a lot of collectors bought these to keep sealed until the end of time. Now, it still is available for $18 on the PlayStation Store and the Nintendo eShop, so if you're interested in a physical copy, snagging it now would be a good bet, as I don't think that it'll spike or drop anytime soon. A Rose in Twilight is probably one of the most expensive games on the PlayStation Vita. This is a horror game and a puzzle platformer, and it's exclusive physically to the Vita. This is another game that is reserved for the Vita collectors, and as far as price charting is concerned, it's always been north of $100 because it was sold direct by Nisa, so resellers are putting this game up for sale. It goes for $10 digitally on Steam and the Vita store, and it looks like it goes on sale pretty often for $4. Metal Slug 3 is a limited run release that saw a print run of 1,500 copies and has been pretty much static for a while. If you're a Vita collector and missed out on this one originally, you could get this and not worry about it dropping in value or increasing anytime soon, but it is available on the eStore for $15, or you can just get the PS4 version, which had a limited print run of 3,000 copies for less than $60, or the Xbox version for $45. Still cheaper than that Neo Geo AES cartridge. Shovel Knight for the Vita is the most expensive copy of Shovel Knight out there, and this price bumps every year and then stays there for a while, and given the quality of the game, it'll probably retain its value, but if you're just looking to play this game, there are cheaper versions available on other platforms. Killzone Mercenaries is probably one of the better Vita games that showcases the Vita's features, and this one is spiking a lot after people made a ton of videos about what games that you should buy before they removed the store, and this is one of the better selling games, so I'm sure it'll drop down in the next couple of months. So if you're really on the fence about this game, I would keep an eye on it and snap it up when you're comfortable with the price. Uncharted Golden Abyss is another game that is regarded as one of the better games for the Vita, and it has seen a huge jump in price lately, but it is leveling off, and I would suspect that we'll see a price drop soon. Popular titles like this tend to circulate a lot more than one-off RPGs, so if you're looking to get this one right now, I would probably wait another month or two because you're bound to see another copy soon. So those are only a small sample of Vita games out there, but the prices are starting to level off again. The question does remain, will they drop in value anytime soon? Personally, I think that they'll go down a bit further over the next couple of months, but the Vita has always been this niche console that's not very easy to collect for unless you buy on eBay or go to gaming conventions. So I think that they'll be expensive for the foreseeable future, especially those that are still exclusive to the Vita. If you are planning on collecting PlayStation Vita, my suggestion would be to keep an eye on the more popular games, because those will be an indicator that prices have gone back to normal, whatever that is these days, and then you can start buying because the Vita games will start to become harder to find as time goes on. This is an enthusiast console similar to the Neo Geo Pocket or WonderSwan, and given that Vitas themselves are getting expensive and hard to find, only those who are really dedicated to this system will be seeking it out. I think as more obscure JRPGs for the console get ported to the Nintendo Switch, then you'll see those prices level off. They'll still be expensive, but I think they'll just plateau like some of the limited run games are already doing. Of course, the solution to these high prices is to buy digitally, but the issue with the Vita now is also what plagued the system when it first came out. It has proprietary media, and the first models only had enough storage to perform system updates, so if you wanted to buy anything from the store, you needed a memory card, and in typical Sony fashion, they only worked for the Vita and they were expensive compared to other memory cards. There are third-party solutions that will adapt a micro SD card to fit into the Vita, but you do need to have it unlocked. I unlocked mine, and it's pretty easy to do. It allows you to play backups of games along with an incredible amount of homebrew like RetroArch, making the Vita a very viable retro handheld, seeing as it is a bit more portable than the Nintendo Switch. When you do compare the Vita to the Nintendo Switch, you can see a lot of similarities, but the failure of the Vita really showcases Nintendo's brand recognition in the handheld market. They've been making these handhelds for over 40 years, starting with the Nintendo Game & Watch, and while there have been worthy competitors throughout the years, Mario on an inexpensive handheld will always win out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with those who might find it interesting. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nicktendo. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Super Nicktendo, and I'll see you next time.